Hey everyone, I want to try something with you today. Just for a second, look around your life, like look at your house, your routines, and the way that your day normally works. Now imagine something simple happens, like nothing dramatic. It doesn't have to be a movie scene or anything, but just like the system stops working. It could be power, water, supply chains, and not for a few hours, just long enough that it actually matters. So here's a question that I want to ask you. How much of your life would still keep moving? Not what you hope would work and not what you think you could figure out later, but what would actually still work? Like, would you still be able to cook? Would you still be able to fix things? Would you still be able to make your food stretch? And would you know your neighbors well enough to lean on each other? Because when I look back at our grandparents, that's the biggest difference that I can see. They didn't call it prepping, they just called it living with like skills, community, and with less dependence on this big crazy system. And I think it's worth like just slowing down for a minute and asking like, what made them harder to break? Was it gear? No. Was it easier times? Definitely not. So what was it? I think it was this. I think that they just knew how to keep things going. If their clothes tore, they repaired them. If food was in season, well, they preserved it. If the tools got dull, they sharpened them. If something broke, they fixed it before replacing it. And if neighbors needed help, people just showed up. Honest question. How many things in your house right now get thrown away that could have been repaired? How many problems get solved with money instead of skill? And honestly, this is not criticism. This is how we've been trained to live. Like convenience has become normal. Replacement has become normal. Outsourcing has become normal. But here's the part that I think we need to think about. What happens when convenience just stops being convenient? Preparedness, it's not always about some big event, but sometimes it's just the slow realization that people have lost the habits that made life durable in the first place. So just think about your situation for a second. If grocery prices jump again, how much can you adapt? If the power went out for a week, what changes first? If something important broke, would you be able to fix it, work around it, or would you be stuck? I think that that's what this really comes down to. Not fear, not extreme scenarios, not pretending that we were living like 80 years ago, but I think we need to ask an honest question, and that is, have we become more comfortable? And while doing so, have we become easier to disrupt? I don't know. I think for a lot of people, the answer is yes, because our grandparents, they built resilience into everyday life. They reused things. They saved useful scraps. They kept jars. They maintained their cookware. They wore things longer. They stretched food further. They grew what they could. And they definitely knew who around them had skills. I'm kind of curious, like, what do you think is one habit that people used to have that actually made them more resilient? I would say gardening for sure. Was it canning, sewing, fixing things, knowing their neighbors, all of the above? Please drop them in the comments or drop what you're thinking in the comments. I love to hear your ideas. I read them because I think that this is where preparedness really starts. Like, not with buying more, but asking better questions. Like, what do I need to learn? What should I repair? What should I stop wasting? And who around me should I know better? Because if you think about it, a sharp tool, that is a prep. A repaired jacket, that is a prep too. A skill that you've practiced is definitely a prep, and a pantry that you actually use is a prep. And a good relationship with your neighbors, I think that that might be one of the most important ones. I don't know. I think that this is where it matters really, because most people, they are not lacking effort, but they are lacking connection and shared knowledge. And that is why we have built preppingcommunities.com I don't think right now is the time that people are supposed to figure this out alone. And that's why on our platform, people, they're joining, they're creating local groups, they're connecting with others, and they're sharing real ideas, real skills, real experiences. And you can find people near you, see what others are doing, explore thousands of real postings on preparedness, homesteading, and self-reliance. Did I mention that there are maps? We have maps. We have interactive maps. We've got a members map, posting maps, group maps. We got an event map. We got our maps that the best foraging places, as well as like the best places to check out. I highly recommend that you check that out. We got groups, discussions, training, and events. See what's happening in your local area. Real people that are figuring this out together. Membership on preppingcommunities.com is free. And here's the key, like it's not just about scrolling content. It's about finding your people, because when things get uncertain, again, people should not have to go through this alone. Let me ask you something. Do you know anyone near you right now who's actually thinking about preparedness? If not, that might be the first thing to fix. And that's what Prepping Communities is for. It's free to join. People are connecting, they're building groups, sharing knowledge, and becoming more capable before they are forced to. If you think about it, our grandparents, they were not preppers. They were just harder to break. And maybe preparedness today, it's not about becoming extreme, but maybe it's just about becoming a little harder to break yourself. Anyways, folks, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today, and I will see you in the next video. I hope to see you at preppingcommunities.com.